Okay, YouTubers, this is Joe from ArtAlienTV. Another quick game of interplanetary I Spy gun on here. Today we're looking at Mars, but we're looking at different areas of Mars. We're not in Gale Crater. We are looking at other parts. And now I think this is near the South Polar region. Now, this is a cool website. This is the Mars Odyssey Themis. Well, now Themis I think means thermal imaging system or something. It's a shortened version of that. And basically, these are really good satellite images of Mars, and this was launched in 2001, I think, and it's been sending back consistently good photos of Mars. They're not amazing quality like the high-rise or the MRO. They're not amazingly high resolution, but they're pretty good and they're easily downloadable. They usually come about sort of 11 megabytes or about 2 megabytes, depending on which file type you choose. Okay, that's up to you. But this is a great page and well worth looking through these because there's some awesome structures in these areas. And some of them are in false colour, okay, and the majority of them are in black and white. The black and white ones are actually better, I think, on the whole. And the ones I was looking at were these two here, and there's another one on the next page. I will have links to all these as usual, okay? This is the main one, Angustus Labyrinthus, okay? And straight away you can see here what look like some very interesting structures in the ground or on the ground, these ridges. Now the official explanation for these is that they are caused by tectonic plate activity. In other words, the Earth's crust is kind of cracked apart and stuff like that. Well, maybe not. They certainly look very odd. And there's also this image here, which is also the same area just next to that. Same sort of structures, and there's also this one which has some very rectilinear looking structures. Now if these were seen from further away they would look like intelligent structures, but when you zoom in they're not really square and they're not really rectangular. They kind of are, but they're not. But they may well be intelligent, at least partly. That's a matter of opinion. I may be wrong, I don't know. We'll see. But another place to get these images is photojournal.jpl.nasa.gov/new. There'll be a link to this as well, and you can get all the Mars Odyssey latest pictures as they come down. This is where I go every day, and you also get Cassini-Huygens, you get the Dawn mission, you get all sorts. You get the Mars rover stuff, some of it, and it's great. I mean, you get all sorts of stuff here. Really good page, so that's well worth keeping and bookmarking. So let's crack on with it. Let's have a look at these images. I've got a few close-ups here. I haven't done tons because I will put more in at the end of the video as usual. But first of all, I'll show you the raw image. Now this was my favourite one. Come on. There we go. Right. Look at this. You've got what look like straight rectilinear and square kind of structures, but in between them you have what look like plants or trees dotted around all over the place like this. Okay, now I'm going to show you an enhancement of that where I've taken a clip of the image and a close-up, and I've just enhanced the contrast and color temperature. And you can see quite clearly that these are some of them very straight structures, like this one here and this one here. Some of them are kind of not so straight, but could these be actually some kind of salt mine? Could they be like you would see in Turkey or North Africa, where when you go on holiday there, if you ever have, like I have, you go to visit these various sites, and we went to go and see a salt mine there. And you have these large salt flats, and they're generally in sort of large square or rectangular shapes, but not perfectly square and not perfectly rectangular. They're usually sort of fairly rough, just roughly square or roughly rectangular. And what they do is they let the seawater in, and then they dam the areas off, and then let the water dry out and leave the salt behind. Now, could this be an old salt mine that still has some moisture left here? Which is why these plants or bushes or trees or whatever they are growing here, and they seem to be growing in patterns in between these areas, and these walls, or whatever you want to call these barriers, or, I mean, it's extraordinary. Are these trees? Are they bushes? Let's look at the whole image here, okay? Now, this does kind of look like intelligent structures to me, but it may not be, of course. But even if it's not, even if these are not man-made or alien or Martian-made structures, like some kind of salt farm or a salt mine, they look very, very interesting. And this one here is particularly straight. And the plants seem to be congregating. There's a row of them here, see? These things, and a row there, and there's some more up here. They get a bit thinner as they... This is near the South Polar region of Mars, which is very cold, but is probably in the melt zone. Now, of course, in the summer, large parts of the ice in both the south and the north ice caps melt, and there would be liquid water on the surface. So these may well be actually plants of some sort. I don't think they're trees, because I would expect them to look taller and there to be shadows coming off them. I think these are actually plants on the ground, patches of organic growth, okay? It actually looks better, I think, this one here. There's a different close-up, okay? This has been enlarged and had the contrast change. Awesome stuff. I was blown away when I saw this last night, absolutely blown away. So I'll put more clips in at the end. I'll also put some comparative images in. Which one? Let me show you this one. This one doesn't have what look like many plants in it, but it does have these very straight structures here. How cool are they? It's absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. This is the first one I saw, and then I looked for more similar, and then found this one, which I think is just unbelievable. Look at it. What the hell is going on here? So yeah, it says on the postcard, as usual, people. I could be wrong here. These may not be plants at all. These may be scars left behind by carbon dioxide or something. That's the usual NASA explanation for this kind of thing. But this is in the polar melt zone, so it is possible that this is plant material. And yes, there is high carbon dioxide in Mars, but plants do like carbon dioxide. What they do need, though, is water. We do know there is water there, and perhaps these structures collect water because of the shape they are. Water may condense on the higher parts of these here, and then run down into the lower parts like we have here, okay? When you go to some places in Spain, or you go to the Canary Islands, they have an extremely dry environment there, but what they do is they dig pits, large pits, and they're about sort of 6 or 7 foot deep, and what they do is they plant grapes in there, and the water collects on the rocks and then runs down into the centre of the pit where the plant is, or where the grapevines are, and basically then you've got moisture, because the ground is very, very dry and rocky, very much like Mars actually, because it's volcanic and high in sulphur, and it makes extremely good grapes, but not much good for anything else. So yes, basically these may be artificial structures that are designed to collect water, and maybe still are, and have fallen into disuse and covered in sand and perhaps even snow at some point. We don't know. Being a black and white image, of course, we don't know what colour this really is. Is it sand or is it snow? I'm guessing it's probably sand, but there's no way to tell, of course. So there we go. I mean, these are absolutely insane. Let's have a look at this one again. This one was cool. So they're collecting between these areas, which may be lower lying. So the moisture may be congregating there and collecting, so that these things can then grow. Okay. Very cool indeed. I've got another interesting one here, which I'll show you very quickly, because there are some very odd dunes in this area as well. This was really odd. You got this long area of dunes going right across here, and they look like steps, but they're perfectly natural, of course. But they're really cool. And there's also another image here somewhere. There he is, of some very weird looking dunes, black dunes. Okay. Look at these. How strange are these? But those are placed in the R dunes. They've got kind of smear marks where some of the material has been blown across from right to left here. Okay, so they look kind of smudged. But they were cool. I just thought they looked really abstract and almost like a work of art. Okay, thanks for watching, everybody. Answers on the postcard as usual. Do you think these are trees? Do you think they are bushes? Do you think they are dunes? Do you think they are something else? To me, they look like organic material, growth of some sort. And it is quite possible that there are many, many plants on Mars because they don't need oxygen. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you soon.